Tonight on CTV, a look into the candidates for this year's ASCSU election.
Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez rallied in Greeley and Denver over the weekend.
And what a new international food market is bringing to Fort Collins.
All this and more tonight on CTV.
Good evening, Rams. My name is Brandon Lennon.
And I'm Madison Szpunar.
The Associated Students of Colorado State University have announced the candidates running in the upcoming student election. 3 pairs of students are running for the roles of president and vice president, while one candidate is running unopposed for Speaker of the Senate.
The candidates for president and vice president of ASCSU are Jakai Nunley and Joseph Godshaw, Rakesh Potter and Naga Somasekar Prasanth Konada, and Connor Flynn and Jonas Anderson.
Now let's take a closer look into each of these campaigns and what changes these students hope to make to CSU. Nunley currently serves as ASCSU's Chief of Staff, while Godshaw serves as Director of Public Relations. When asked about their campaign goals, the candidates, Nunley said, "The leadership and the vision we have moving forward is a sustainable vision, and a vision that we put a lot of intentionality and thought into. Nothing about this campaign was thrown together."
Presidential candidate Flynn is a current sophomore in political science, and Anderson is a junior biomedical sciences student. The Flynn and Anderson campaign said, "Our campaign policy is built upon 3 A's, affordability, accessibility, and anti-fascism. While, if elected, we will make sure that we use the full power of the ASCSU executive body to do as much work as possible for these 3 vital goals. We will take a specific focus on the rising cost of living in Fort Collins and utilizing the institutional power that CSU has as the largest employer within the city."
Lastly, for presidential candidates, Potter is a PhD candidate in computer sciences, while Konada is a master's student in computer information system. Potter and Konada have not yet gotten back to us about their campaign initiatives, but to find out more, visit the ASCSU website. We did have the opportunity to speak with Brooklyn Reese, the current Speaker pro tempore and the only running candidate for ASCSU Speaker of the Senate, about her campaign goals.
I'm a strong advocate for transparency. I think that's another thing that the legislative branch can improve on, as well as the greater ASCSU. One of my largest goals is establishing an even better means of onboarding with our college councils, having direct, sustainable communication that outlives the time that one person's on campus. You need to have systems updated in things like our Constitution and our bylaws that really reflect the needs of the student body.
Make sure to tune in next Thursday to watch our crew's full coverage of the ASCSU presidential debates. Voting will open the following day, Friday. We are now going to head over to our chief reporters for their coverage on the rally that took place in Greeley and Denver over the weekend.
Good evening, Rams. I'm JJ McKinney.
And I'm Bailey Borkowski. As the federal government continues to roll out policies, many Americans across the country are sharing concerns over the State of the Union.
This has led to protests and rallies across the United States, where some citizens are making the disapproval of the current government apparent.
With over 30,000 people in attendance, this was the largest Democratic rally in Civic Center Park since former President Barack Obama's visit in 2008. People gathered in lines that stretched multiple city blocks and camped outside the rally fences to hear Senator Bernie Sanders and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez speak on their fighting oligarchy tour. When asked why people were camping outside the rally, they stated this.
That all the folks here, the 20 to 30,000 people, are organized here to hopefully tell our president that we're not going to sit back and watch him defile our country and democracy, and I hope that this movement can grow much more.
By traveling across the country, Sanders and Cortez aim to rally the population against President Donald Trump's administration and supporting billionaires.
What I think the worst addiction in this country is, the most dangerous, and that is the greed of the oligarchs.
Cortez joined in on Senator Sanders' message, speaking on what she believes is a dangerous time in American history as billionaires gain more influence in the U.S. government.
We are witnessing an oligarchy in America. When those with the most economic, political, and technological power destroy the public good to enrich themselves, while millions of Americans pay the price.
This is in hopes for a bipartisan movement that unites both the working class of Americans to push for reform in the federal government.
This comes after a series of decisions by the Trump administration that has caused funding cuts to multiple federal departments. In Cortez's speech, several notable Republicans were criticized, including newly elected Representative Gabe Evans. Evans' team responded in a press release last Friday, criticizing Cortez, Sanders, and the Democratic Party's policies on oil and gas. Congressman Evans is fighting for lower costs, safer communities, and making the American dream possible for all Coloradoans. His common sense approach stands in stark contrast to AOC and Bernie Sanders' extreme anti-oil and gas rhetoric. Sanders and Cortez have been making multiple visits to Republican-heavy districts on their tour in order to gain more supporters for their cause. Just earlier that day, the pair spoke in Greeley, where there were over 11,000 people in attendance. Several other notable keynote speakers took to the stage to rally for their cause, including multiple union leaders in construction and education and Federal Trade Commissioner Alvaro Bedoya. Members of the crowds resonated with Sanders and Cortez's policies on affordable healthcare, housing, and equal taxation, even going as far as chanting "tax the rich" when billionaire wages were brought into the question.
Some attendees were not as supportive of reform in the Democratic Party. The Democommunists hope to spread their belief that no true change can be made without an upheaval of the capitalist system.
We find ourselves where we are today with Trump because of the Democratic Party and their inability and unwillingness to actually further progressive asks.
I believe that the creation of a revolutionary party is the only way to create real change and truly see the American people in power. Regardless, Sanders had one more message of unity to supporters and critics alike.
We can defeat Trumpism. We can create a political movement so that we have a government and economy that works for all of us, not just the 1%.
Overall, Cortez and Sanders hope that rallies just like this are the beginning of a longer call to action to change in the federal government.
President Donald Trump's executive order to dissolve the U.S. Department of Education is not expected to affect CSU's programs, according to Chancellor Tony Frank. The plan that was announced Thursday aims to return education authority to states and local communities while preserving Pell Grants, Title IX funding, and special education resources through other departments. CSU received a letter from the Department of Education confirming that federal aid programs and services, including FAFSA and student loan servicing, will remain the same. CSU officials stressed that any change would be minimal for now.
Last night, at almost 10, a stabbing occurred at 1800 Marlborough Court off of West Stewart Street. The police arrived with 17 patrol vehicles to the area of interest, but no more information is available at the current time. If you have any more information about this event, please contact Fort Collins Police Department at 970-221-6540.
March 15th, a major security breach occurred when a group chat between U.S. officials discussing plans for military action in Yemen was shared with journalist Jeffrey Goldberg after he was accidentally added into the chat. In a report, Goldberg revealed that senior members of the Trump administration used an unsecure group chat to coordinate sensitive plans against Houthi rebels. According to Goldberg, the chat included people such as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Vice President J.D. Vance. However, when asked about the breach, President Donald Trump claimed it was his first time hearing about it and he had no prior knowledge on the incident.
Throughout the past few weeks, clashes between the armed Syrian security forces and Assad loyalists are increasing. Since the departure of Assad and the disbanding of the Assad regime in December, the rebel forces have united to create a new kind of transitional government and enforce the law during the power vacuum. Though the government they hold loyalty does not exist anymore, the Assad loyalist group has launched several attacks on rebel soldiers. The attacks consist of several ambushes on the Syrian rebels, leaving dozens dead on either side, including civilians. The loyalists, consisting mostly of former Assad soldiers, law enforcement, and supporters, continue to fight the rebels in cities like Damascus, Aleppo, and Hama. We are now going out to our live reporter, Karma, in the field. Karma?
Thanks, Brandon. Fort Collins police have arrested 48-year-old David Miles, a teacher here at Fort Collins High School, on multiple felony charges, including sexual assault and sexual exploitation of a child. Investigators say Miles initiated contact with a juvenile female online in 2022, leading to the exchange of explicit images and an eventual meeting at her home, where the alleged assault occurred. The victim later realized he was a teacher at her school. Miles was arrested today and booked into the Larimer County Jail. He had already been on administrative leave since February, when the investigation began. District officials say they are fully cooperating with police. Police are asking anyone with information to come forward. Reporting live in Fort Collins, I'm Karma Robbins with CTV Channel 11. Now we're going to go to a quick break.
We're going to take a quick, but stay tuned. We have weather up next.
After 2 years?
You gotta be kidding me! Okay, no.
Robbie!
Seriously, do you have anything you can use against the dragon? I can do fireball, that'll do a lot of damage. Yeah, to all of us!
Well,
We're in a 4-foot room!
I'm sorry, what else do you want me to do?
Okay.
Hold on. All right. Wizard, what do you do?
Hi Rams, my name is Lena Juhlin, here to bring you this week's weather. For our current conditions, it's 71 degrees outside. Sunset was at 7:20 p.m. with 22% humidity and 8-mile-per-hour winds. Spring is in the air this week, which can be caught from a lot of the nature on campus, whether it's the geese or squirrels to some of the greenery that's popping up. Overall, a great time to get out and explore downtown and enjoy some of those outdoor activities like hiking, biking, or playing sports on the IMs. For our overnight lows, you can expect some warmer temperatures along the I-25 corridor, being in those mid-40s to low 50s. For the Eastern Plains, it will be a bit cooler, with Lyman being at 39 and Sterling, Burlington, and Lamar being in those low 40 ranges. For our western slopes, you can expect some cooler temperatures as well, with Gunnison being our lowest at 26 and Grand Junction being up around 50. For tomorrow's forecast, you can expect some partly cloudy skies with a high of 77 and a low of 42. Sunset will be at 7:21 p.m. with 22% humidity and 10-mile-per-hour winds. For a 5-day forecast, you can expect some showers on Saturday with a high of 61 and low of 38. Sunday will be a little bit cooler with that high of 56, low of 34. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you can expect some partly cloudy skies with Tuesday having some rain. Overall, just stay safe out there, Rams, and that's all we have for weather. Back to you guys.
ASCSU's annual Fools Fest is back with several bands that came together to play for the CSU campus out on the Sutherland Gardens. The show features bands Snow Day, Slag, Dry Ice, Plastic Forearm, and Chom Nomsky. From 12 to 6 this afternoon, each of the groups played multiple songs from their albums and allowed students, faculty, and anybody else who wanted to enjoy live music for free to do so.
Recently on campus, you may have heard that CSU is looking for a new set of RAM Welcome leaders to help introduce incoming freshmen to the campus next semester. RAM Welcome leaders help new students navigate the transition to college life, providing support, advice, and a friendly face as they begin their journey. RAM Welcome Leaders is a program designed to help students, especially freshmen, transition smoothly into college life.
So RAM Welcome Leader is a current student at CSU that is in their second year or senior year, anywhere in that realm, and they're an extra support system to the incoming students as a layer of support.
They fully participate in everything from the pep rally to the carnival to Ram Bash. Everything that the students are doing, our RAM Welcome Leaders are also part of.
Whether it's navigating the campus, meeting new friends, or learning about the resources available, these leaders are here to support freshmen every step of the way.
After talking with the RAM Welcome Leaders, they said that they were a little hesitant about it since it is a volunteer position, but they absolutely loved it.
Although RAM Welcome Leaders work hard to ensure all incoming students have a smooth transition onto campus, it's not just about hard work. There's plenty of fun involved too.
One of our principles of community is service, and so it's one way to live out our principles of community as CSU students. It's a lot of fun, and we do provide service hour verification.
It's an absolute fun experience, and to apply, you just do it on our website. You can Google RAM Welcome Colorado State University, and there's a link to apply, and if you have any questions, you can email otp_ram_welcome@coloradostate.edu.
I'm here with RAM Events President Hennessy Lacey. And Hennessy, do you mind telling me about this upcoming RAM event?
Yeah, so RAMFest is an event that we put on each spring semester. It's one of our signature events. And we also like to do a trend survey that we send out to the CSU community to find out things that they want to see on campus. So that could be things like a carnival, sometimes a concert as well.
Oh, so last year's RAMFest happened with the band Midland. So what's different and what's in store for this year's RAMFest?
Yeah, so this year's RAMFest, we're bringing Marcelo Hernandez. He's also seen on Saturday Night Live, so that's super exciting.
And is there any more information you'd like to add?
Yeah, so this year's RAMFest is going to be on April 22nd in the LSC ballrooms. The doors will be opening at 5 p.m. The event will be taking place from 6 to 8. And you can also find more information on our Instagram, RAM Events at CSU, or on our website as well.
Fantastic. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
Kevin, I need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Hi Rams, welcome back to Thursday Night News. I'm Payton Barill, and tonight we have a lot to cover as it's been an action-packed week here in Ram Country. After securing the Mountain West Championship title, the men's basketball team got a bid as the number 12 seed in the March Madness tournament. In the first round, the Rams earned their 11th straight win in an upset against the number 5 seed Memphis, ending at 78-70. Sophomore guard Kyan Evans stepped up as the leading scorer for the game with 23 points, a new career high. In the second round of the tournament, the Rams tipped off against number 4 seed Maryland. Despite being the underdog, the Rams gave the Terrapins a run for their money. By the start of the second half, the Rams were up by 7. Soon, Maryland's Rodney Rice fired 2 good three-pointers, picking away at the Rams' lead. The game was nothing if not a nail-biter, and by the game's final seconds, the game was scored with 22 seconds on the clock. Julian Reese sunk 2 free throws, putting the Rams down by 2. Then, doing what he does best, Jalen Lake drained a three-pointer, giving the Rams a single lead point. With less than 3 seconds on the clock, Maryland gained their final possession, getting the ball to Derek Queen, who hit a controversial buzzer beater. Many thought that the play should have been flagged for traveling, but the score ended at 72-71, putting Maryland through to the Sweet 16. The game was a textbook March Madness contest with high-level performances from both teams. Following the game, Maryland head coach Kevin Willard felt that the Terrapins were due for a win, but that beating the Rams was tough.
No, I mean, Colorado State's good, man. And I said this might be the best team we've played all year offensively. They pass the ball, they screen well. Nico runs stuff. He's got 8 trillion plays. So this is just a great win for our guys.
If the loss wasn't heartbreaking enough, not long after the game's end, Niko Medved announced that he will be leaving the Rams as head coach. He plans to head back to Minnesota, his home state, to join the Big Ten as head coach for the Golden Gophers. Medved has made a massive impact on the program in his last 7 years here, ending with one of the best seasons in program history. I got the chance to talk to some CSU basketball fans to see what this means for the team.
I bet they were all pretty disappointed, especially those younger guys, because Nick and Jalen are leaving too. So it's kind of tough on them, especially since their head coach is leaving that they just had success with.
As Medved and senior players head to new things, the season wraps up with a bittersweet goodbye. That's all I have for you tonight, Rams, but stay tuned for a look into Fort Collins' most recent international market.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Arrived in Fort Collins, and it's bringing a world of unique finds with it. Daiso, a popular Japanese discount chain, is opening its doors, adding to the growing landscape of international shops in the city. Fort Collins shoppers have a new destination for affordable and unique finds. Daiso, a Japanese dollar-style store that carries everything from kitchenware to beauty products. And since opening, it's already made a strong first impression.
I really like it. It has a lot of the things that I don't usually find in the regular grocery store, and it helps me cook a lot of the things that I like to cook.
But while Daiso brings a taste of Japan to Fort Collins, the city's options for international groceries remains limited. Right now, only a handful of small markets serve those looking for specialty products, and some, like Magnolia Street Market, are more of a mix than a full grocery store. One store that once helped fill this gap was Rams Bazaar, a CSU-sponsored shop carrying a variety of global foods, but after closing during the pandemic, it has since been converted into a Mexican grocery store, leaving fewer options for those seeking Asian, European, or Middle Eastern products.
Of course, I was like, I'm from Florida, and the big part of growing up was going to all the national stores, and that's where we got all our ingredients.
And that's the sentiment many shoppers share. Daiso is a great start, but the demand for more international stores is clear. For now, Fort Collins residents can enjoy their new Daiso, but when it comes to international groceries, there's still room to grow. Whether you're looking for Japanese home goods, Korean snacks, or ingredients from all around the world, Fort Collins is becoming a hub for global shopping, and Daiso is just the latest addition to this cultural marketplace. But what do you guys think? Do you guys find a whole lot of international goods when you're looking around Fort Collins?
I do. There's a great place called Olive Tree Market. I go there for their Turkish coffee. It's a big fan.
Turkish coffee.
Turkish
That's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard of Turkish coffee before.
Is it good?
It's so good. And they do it right in front of you on the sand. It's fantastic.
I gotta try that out. You guys should head over to Daiso though, because I got some great salt candy over there. Can recommend. It really changed my life. I'm a big salt fan.
Sounds right up my alley.
But
that is going to bring us to the end of our show tonight.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.